What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cookie DAO today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 12th day of October, and here we are sitting at about 8.2 cents with a whopping massive drop on Bybit, at least, all the way down to about 3.8 cents. Crazy, wild, absolutely extraordinary. In fact, I'm actually kind of curious, what price did we drop to on Coinbase? We saw a 6 cent. That's still crazy. 6 cents on Coinbase, 3 cents on Bybit. Probably clearing out some positions here, longs or shorts or whatever. You cleared out the longs and then the shorts piled on. Then you cleared out the shorts moving up. Looking at this now, though, I would treat a lot of this wick, and I am treating this wick across the crypto space really largely as a scam wick, as if it doesn't exist, right? Like this is more the real price action. What we're doing right here, not what happened down here, right? Not what happened for like a brief minute. If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, we're gonna talk about the long term stuff. We're gonna talk about where I think Cookie DAO is going, what its all time high potential is, and all that stuff by the end of this cycle. We're gonna talk about all that by the end of this video. But I want to get into the short term stuff first, and then we'll build our way out. Okay, so looking at the 1 hour time frame, moving down this dramatically, and now you're moving sideways. It's kind of to be expected because after something so terrible as a fantastic drop as this, people kind of wait and see what's going on, right? They're too timid to buy, so we move up a little bit. That makes people buy. They're too timid to sell, so we move down a little bit. That makes people sell. They panic one way or another. And it's the weekend on top of that. It's Saturday and Sunday right now. It's the weekend, so typically on the weekend we're boring. So we're just waiting, I think, until the stock market opens up and see how the stock market reacts, how the traditional markets interact with this tariff news from Trump and other things. And I think once we get that guidance from the stock markets, we'll probably move up because likely the impact on the stock markets will be nothing compared to what it was in crypto. We'll see some nice movements up higher, and I do believe that that will recover in a very short amount of time. Cookie DAO should be back above 10 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents, moving up to 20 cents and beyond over the coming days and weeks. I really would expect that by the end of this month of October, Cookie could really be pressing 30 cents or higher, genuinely. And here we are at 8.2 cents now, so some fantastic growth is coming our way. We look at the 1 hour time frame. It's a very bearish 1 hour RSI, absolutely very bearish. We could move a little bit lower. You could see prices below 7 cents. It's very possible that we go back down to like 7.5 cents, 7 cents, something like that. Looks like we want to move lower here. Stochastics agree. And the MACD, while being green is nice, you haven't really done anything with it. You've actually only seen lower lows, relatively speaking, and lower highs. So I think we do move lower. 4 hour time frame. And by the way, if other cryptos today are moving higher, but Cookie DAO is moving lower, that doesn't mean that Cookie's worse for wear. It's just hasn't moved up yet. Everything's kind of figuring itself out. It's the weekend. It's weird stuff. Don't base your opinions off of the weekend, okay? The MACD is immensely bearish. Stochastics look like they want to be bullish, but you just can't. And the RSI is terribly bearish as well. But you do have some bullish divergence going on, which is nice to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we went a little bit lower. Again, expecting prices that are just below. At the very least, I would expect that we get back down to about 8 cents or maybe even just below 8 cents. Okay, we're at 8.2 cents now, so a little bit lower. But really, I'm anticipating that we see some kind of massive reverberation back to normality here, around 11 cents to 12 cents there over the coming days. If we're looking at this on the 4 hour, again, you have a massive downtrend in your RSI. Typically, these downtrends end exactly where you are now. So if we do have lower to go, it's not going to be by much. I would expect a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. I'd like to see some bullish divergence form on this MACD, and then we can call it quits and move up higher going into Monday or Tuesday here is what my expectation would be. I think, and if I'm correct in thinking this, I would think that by Wednesday we basically erase all of what's happened since Friday. Looking at this on a daily time frame here, you can see also throughout this trend, again, if you ignore this wick and you act like it doesn't exist, I'm not saying act like it doesn't exist to make a better argument. I'm just saying it's very clear, in my opinion, that it's a scam wick. Why can't I draw? And we've got these like higher lows dating back to May, right? We've got these like higher lows kind of in this area here, right at the low point. It would make sense that we bounce from here, we come up, and I would think that this time, unlike every other attempt that we've had, every lower high that we've had since May, I would assume that we break out, and once we break out, we're actually going to see some glorious upside. Remember, guys, even at higher prices at 15.7 cents, it took us 3 days to move from 15.7 all the way up to 32 cents. By the end of this month, I truly do believe we will be back above this high. I really do think that, if not above this high, somewhere around that high nonetheless. But I think going into the end of this month, we should see some massive recovery going on. Ultimately, looking at the daily time frame here, The RSI does have lower lows. We do have lower lows in the price. You had a very bearish moment, but at the same time, the last time we were at the oversold zone, the time before that, that was at a relative low there. That was at a relative low there. I think we're at a relative low now. And again, the difference here being that we're probably going to form a higher high, not a lower high, based off of this relative low. The MACD is rejecting the 0, which isn't good, but you're at the same areas that you bounced from before. So hopefully we get a bounce here. And the stochastics are at the 50, looking like you want to pop back up to the overboughts in here. That's actually kind of a good look right there. The weekly time frame, weekly RSI, or the weekly stochastics look great, guys. I don't know how this week is so far down. We're down 34%. The stochastics still look like they want to come up. That's crazy. Next week they might be pointed down. Hopefully next week, if next week goes the way I think it will, we should be closing the week above like 13 cents by the end of next week. That would be my expectation, genuinely. Looking at this, looking at the MACD here, we are crossed below the 0. That's not friendly. That's not a good look in itself. Hopefully in the next 9 hours we can pull up a little bit. That way we get some bullish divergence or something. But even with this close, I'm not worried about it. The RSI is at a perfect area to bounce, right at the 40 here. Stochastics look like they're ready to move up as well. And ultimately, I think that Cookie DAO is going to see new all-time highs based off of this high to this low on the fibs. Again, we're not going to take that low. This high to this low here. Although I am kind of curious, what would this be from a high to a low right here? That's wild. That's wild stuff. I would expect that we see a $1.65 to a $3.90 price somewhere in there. Not by the end of October, but certainly by the end of the year. Certainly by the end of the year. And with that, if not higher, with that, from the current price, Cookie DAO should see something from an 18x to a 45x by the end of the year. I truly would not be surprised at all if we saw a 45x by the end of the year. Cookie DAO could even see more than that. I really do believe we could see some immense growth, larger growth. What's going to be crazy is people are going to look back at this, and this move here that we experienced back in November of 2024 was a 42x. People are thinking now there's no way we could see that again. That was a one-off. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if this next move is even larger. Truly, if it sent us all the way up to $3.90, which from the current price would be about a 45x, let alone from the low, if we count the low, which you guys know I don't want to count the low, but that'd be 100x. Crazy, crazy stuff. Anyways, I don't really have anything else I want to talk about, or I guess I do. One last thing. I want to talk about the all-time highs for this cycle. I do believe that we're going to see a $20 price or more by the end of the cycle. My expectation is a $20 to $50 price by the end of the cycle. That should be in April, May, or June of 2026. That's my expectation. I don't have anything else. I thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm very bullish on Cookie DAO, and I think this is one to watch. It's one of my more recent purchases. We bought some a while ago. We bought some at like 8 cents down here as well. Bought some at 23 cents up here. Bought on the way down, bought on the way up, and now we're buying here as well. I think it's a great opportunity to buy, and I think that over the coming days, coming weeks, that it'll really, it'll make anybody who's buying it now very happy. We've moved up at a pretty fast rate before, like literally from here on the 17th of April to the 1st of May. So in less than half a month, you literally saw almost a tripling in price from the current price right here. Over a double, that's for sure. Over a 100% growth there, let alone what came after that. I think this next move, what we're going to see here when we recover, it'll be faster than what we saw back here. Absolutely. It'll be more akin to what we saw last November. Anyways, I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.